Hi there, and welcome to Cat Scratch Kitchen, where magic happens and muffins rise. Today we're whipping up some extra special homemade muffin mix that'll make your pantry the envy of every baker in town. Whether you're craving blueberry or chocolate chip, we've got you covered. So grab your apron and let's mix up some delicious fun. Now the first thing we're going to need in a large bowl is 8 cups of all-purpose flour. Now this mix makes 4 packets. Each packet makes 12 muffins. You can multiply or divide the recipe the way you want, depending on how much mix and how many muffins you want to have. So to our all-purpose flour, we're going to add sugar, baking powder, not soda, baking powder, and salt. Now we just want to mix all of that together just so that it's fairly well distributed and not all in one clump. You don't want all the baking powder in one spot. Now we're going to add 1 cup of shortening. Just cover it well with the flour mixture. Now you can use a pastry cutter, you can use 2 knives, or you can use your hands. That's what I'm going to do. We want to break up the shortening into the flour until it resembles coarse sand. So the easiest way to me, and this is the way we do our Bisquick mix as well, is to start just breaking it up with my fingers, and when it gets smaller, then just taking it and rubbing it through my palms. It's going to take a few minutes, but it's actually kind of relaxing. Just keep going until you get the right texture, and you know that that shortening is completely mixed through. So while I'm doing this, let me tell you, you want your oven preheated to 425 degrees when you make your muffins, and muffins would need to cook for 15 to 18 minutes. I check them with a toothpick in the middle. You can use a cake tester. Just be aware that if you're adding other ingredients like fruit, if you go through fruit, you're going to get a wet spot. Okay, we're just about right now. That shortening is well mixed through there. We don't have any spots of just flour, and there you go. I'm going to go wash my hands, and I'll be right back. Now I take a small sandwich size Ziploc bag and write on it that it's a muffin mix, what I need to add to it, the temperature, and the amount of time for it to bake. And that's how I store mine. So I'll start now putting some in, and it's about 2.5 cups for each batch. And I can kind of eyeball that with this big spoon since I use it all the time. And there's your mix. Now fast forward, here are all of our mixes that we made. You can store them in the fridge, store them in the pantry for easily up to 6 months. If you want to put them in the refrigerator or in the freezer, you can store them for up to a year. Now I'm going to show you how to use one of these, and we're going to make some blueberry muffins. You need a bowl, of course. Preheat your oven to that 425 degree mark. We're going to empty one of our mixes into our bowl. We need 1 egg, and we also need 1 cup of milk. Now we just want to stir it together until everything is moistened and it comes together. If there's a few lumps left, once it's all moistened, that's okay. You don't want it completely smooth. As typical with muffins, if you mix it too much, they turn out tough. The less you can mix them and still get it all incorporated, the better, and the lighter and fluffier they'll be. Now we're ready to add any additions that you want. You can bake it just like this and have a perfectly fine sweet muffin. I think I have a cup of frozen blueberries that I'm going to add. We're just going to make a good old blueberry muffin. I had just over a cup of frozen blueberries in the freezer, and I dusted them with a light layer of flour before I add them to my mix, just so that they don't discolor the entire mix and hopefully don't sink to the bottom of every muffin. And just gently fold them through. A 1/2 cup of mix-ins is actually plenty. I decided I was just going to go ahead and use the entire amount that I had in the freezer, so they're going to be very blueberry. I'm going to use an ice cream scoop to put these in my muffin cups. And I have two 6-count muffin trays that I'm going to use. And I am going to use some paper liners just to have less of a mess. And I'm going to take probably 2 of these small scoops so that it's about 2/3 full. Just like that. And there you have it. Our beautiful muffins just bursting with blueberries, golden brown. And I took the liberty of taking one out full of blueberries. Add some butter when they're warm or some cream cheese, and they're absolutely perfect. We've just mixed up a storm and created the ultimate pantry staple, your very own customizable muffin mix. Now you're just a scoop and a stir away from muffin perfection anytime your heart desires. Thank you for joining me on this flavor-packed journey. If you've enjoyed creating this kitchen masterpiece as much as I did, hit that like button and share the love. And remember, for more kitchen escapades and pantry power-ups, hit the subscribe button and ring that bell so that you don't miss out on next week's video. As always, the recipe is just below the like button, as well as a link so that you can print it out. Thanks so much for watching, and until next week, have fun in the kitchen.